2018 BMW 1 Series Hatchback Review. The good points of BMW 1 Series Hatchback. Engaging their driving. Superb diesel economy. M140i an efficient hot hatch. Impressive material quality. The bad points of BMW 1 Series Hatchback. Cramped, especially in the rear. On the pricey side to purchase. Styling is divisive. Beauty could be in the eye from the beholder, nevertheless, you would have to be described as a bit of a fan to trust the BMW 1 Series sports hatch is usually a good-looking hatchback. In fact, its long bonnet and rounded rear end allow it to look just as if it had been prodded somewhat with the ugly stick, but at its reward-biased stance is usually a visual clue on the range, being predominantly rear-wheel drive, an unusual choice with this class. This puts a transparent emphasis on driving fun over outright practicality, passing on a distinct edge on its core Germanic rivals, the Audi A3, Mercedes-Benz A-Class and higher-spec versions from the Volkswagen Golf, not to mention more individualistic choices, for example the Lexus Court, Infiniti Q30 and Volvo V40. Unlike the first-generation 1 Series range that featured coupe and convertible alternatives, those have already been separated out to the BMW 2 Series range with the second iterations. Comprehensive engine lineup. There's the ever-impressive type of efficient and clean turbocharged engines for that 1 Series that inevitably appear over the BMW and Mini ranges. You'll ought to ignore the boot badges, almost like they match the capacity on the engine. It's more unintentionally than design. Outstanding mid-range 120i and 120d have 2.0-liter motors, then again so do the 118d, 125i and 125d. At the reduced end on the range, 3-cylinder 1.5-liter motors is usually found inside the 116d and 118i models, whilst the high-performance M140i, there's no M1 sister car on the M2 Coupe, utilizes a 6-cylinder 3.0-liter unit, able to sprinting from the standstill to 62 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds. Unlike other ranges inside BMW lineup, nowadays there are plug-in hybrid versions with the 1 Series sports hatch, making the 116d efficient dynamics the most beneficial, with claims as much as 83.1 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 89 gkm. Choose the 120d and you may also specify xDrive all-wheel drive. There's a tiny efficiency penalty due for the extra weight on the system, but that extra traction causes it to become marginally quicker than the trunk-wheel drive alternative. High BMW 1 Series equipment levels. Long than ever before, when German-made premium-priced cars were well-engineered and poorly equipped. While the engineering legacy remains, there's a great deal of standard kit around the 1 Series, even when you plump to the entry-level, say. Even here, alloy wheels, climate control, keyless start and automatic wipers are part in the package. Most people often upgrade to Sport and M Sport, though, with M140i appearing being a standalone spec on the range's pinnacle. The trim offering was further bolstered in summer 2017 together with the arrival from the M Sport Shadow Edition, featuring darkened exterior elements to allow it to look a tad racier. There's a great deal of extras to select from, many of which carry hefty prices. When you fancy a Harman Kardon speaker upgrade or maybe a professional navigation system, expect to pay with the privilege. BMW 1 Series facelift in 2015. Making the styling less divisive in 2015, the BMW 1 Series sports hatch received a light midlife facelift, with particularly increased exposure of making the nose and tail look much more other models from the range. The original triangular headlamps gave way to more horizontal units closer for the look from the 2 Series coupe and convertible, whilst the taillights switched from being vertically orientated to being wider lenses bisected because of the tailgate opening. Interior tweaks were more restrained with detail changes for the dashboard along with a range of new seat fabrics. The verdict. In a segment where practicality and family-friendly flexibility are likely to dominate buyers' choices, the BMW 1 Series Sports Hatch is usually a much more individual proposition. It's a driver's car having a degree of functionality built in, so consider your priorities carefully before ordering one. Watch the whole review. All you should know about the BMW 1 Series Sports Hatch. Smallest engines are distributed to Mini. Whole range is turbocharged for efficiency. Range-topping M140i is usually a fun hot hatch. There's a turbocharged engine to accommodate most needs inside the BMW 1 Series Sports Hatch range, from diesels that eke out every tankful to high-performance versions to say the ones from an enthusiastic bent. BMW 1 Series diesels, popular and strong. Entry point towards the diesel 1 Series lineup would be the 116D, powered by way of a 3-cylinder 1.5-liter turbocharged unit as observed in various Minis. In this installation there's 116 horsepower and 270 Nm of torque from 1,750 revolutions per minute, creating a top speed of 124 miles per hour plus a 10.3-second 062 miles per hour time, no matter whether you go with the 6-speed manual or even the optional 8-speed automatic. There's a frugal focus while using 116D and dynamics, which includes the same engine, but that economy drive sees its figure slip to 121 miles per hour and 10.4 seconds, respectively. The remaining diesels all use precisely the same basic 4-cylinder 2.0-liter unit in several states of tune, producing 150 horsepower and 330 Nm of torque from 1,750 revolutions per minute will be the 118D, sold in manual and automatic forms. Both post a 132 miles per hour top speed, however the auto's somewhat quicker 062 miles per hour through an 8.1 second time versus the manual's 8.3. BMW 120D power as well as outputs are ramped nearly 190 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque for that 120D, again that has a choice of transmissions. Both can reach 142 miles per hour, but once more the auto's the quicker accelerator, 7.0 seconds for your 062 miles per hour compared together with the manual's 7.1 second time. The self-shifter is the top all-rounder inside range, supplying you with cover enough miles to justify the diesel choice. All-wheel drive is standard around the 120DX drive that shares exactly the same 190 horsepower engine. The extra weight on the system pegs the very best speed at 138 miles per hour. Even so, the additional traction shaves the 062 miles per hour sprint as a result of 6.8 seconds. Here the 8-speed automatic could be the sole transmission. BMW 125D, all the more performance. Automatic's really the only choice for your 125D2. The location where the headline statistics are 224 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. These numbers see the highest speed cranked as much as 149 miles per hour and easily 6.3 seconds required to the 062 miles per hour dash. Performance shifting turbo petrols. There's another 3-cylinder 1.5-liter engine shared together with the Mini hatch and BMW i8 inside 118i, a model that's remarkably brisk considering it only conjures up 136 horsepower and 220 Nm of torque at 1,250 revolutions per minute. The 6-speed manual and 8-speed automatic gearbox options present, each that has a 130 miles per hour top speed rather than 2 should be 0.62 miles per hour times during 8.5 and 8.7 seconds, respectively. It's a 4-cylinder 2.0-liter motor and the 120i's bonnet, again which has a choice of transmissions being conduits to deliver 184 horsepower and 290 newton-meters of torque at 1,350 revolutions per minute to a corner wheels. Both post 7.1 second 0.62 miles per hour times, but at 143 miles per hour the manual features a 3 miles per hour higher top speed compared to auto. Like its diesel namesake, the 125i is automatic only and is also propelled by 224 horsepower version with the 2.0-liter petrol, making a marginally improved 310 newton-meters of torque. It'll reach 151 miles per hour and needs 6.1 seconds for your 0.62 miles per hour benchmark. BMW 140i, flagship performance. Breathed over by BMW's M division, and not a fully blown M1 sister towards the M2 Coupe, the M140i incorporates a 6-cylinder 3.0-liter engine shoehorned under its bonnet that boasts of 340 horsepower and 500 newton-meters of torque at 1,520 revolutions per minute. Both transmission types feature again, but as the pair share the somewhat academic 155 miles per hour electronically governed top speed, the automatic's 4.6 second 0.62 miles per hour time trumps the manual's 4.8 second quote. Balanced handling due to rear-wheel drive. Comfort hasn't been sacrificed for agility. X-Drive available, but are you needing it? It's the one rear-wheel drive car from the compact family hatchback segments along with the BMW 1 Series sports hatch is the more enjoyable to push because of it. Thanks towards the inline engine layout and rear-wheel drive powertrain, the 1 Series has a equal weight distribution front to rear, gives it intrinsic balance, instead of tail-uppy waywardness. BMW's engineers are making the second-generation 1 Series 51mm wider for the front and 71mm at the back compared having its predecessor, whilst the suspension continues to be enhanced to deliver increased quantities of both agility and comfort. Well-balanced and fun handling. It's well-balanced, corners brilliantly and it has good body control due to its sports suspension. You'll experience hardly any lean when cornering here. The variable sports steering is grade 2 well weighted with good feedback. Even inside the wet there is really a lot of grip through the tires, but traction may be improved further for the 120D, which consists of X-Drive all-wheel drive system. Think carefully before you decide one though, a rear-wheel drive 120D with winter tires might just suffice. Impeccably clear instruments and buttons. Well assembled and not exactly luxurious. iDrive multimedia strategy is standard setter. When you are considering providing one on the best driving positions on this corner in the market, the BMW 1 Series sports hatch has got the competition licked. There's an excellent variety of adjustment for both the steering wheel and also the seat, which is usually set sportily low. But be aware it's not the roomiest of cabins and a backseat dweller immediately aft with the driver might be less enthralled. One particular highlight from the cabin could be the iDrive system, a rotary dial in the middle of buttons to navigate the multimedia system. Many rivals have launched similar systems since BMW debuted its original way back in 2002. However, with frequent honing it remains to be the most intuitive. Although it's well made, it conspires not to feel as special because cabin from the Audi A3 or Volkswagen Golf, feeling more functional than blessed with flair. But, importantly, things are logically located and also the switchgear seems like it will stand quality of time. There's a paucity of interior space. Bag a front seat, they're far comfier. Adaptive suspension is an extra cost option. Although this generation of just 1 Series sports hatch is comfier than its predecessor, BMW continues to have work to do with this regard, forgetting even having its competition, not to mention surge ahead. Its biggest issue is how compact the cabin is, with little rear legroom plus a high transmission tunnel, the location where the center rear passenger would ideally locate their feet. 4 adults would become a squeeze inside a 1 Series, don't worry. 5 things less difficult. Better if you're sufficiently fortunate to inhabit one in the front berths, with lots of adjustment whether or not the seats are manually or electrically adjustable. There's a lot of side support too, which supports keep you hemmed in when driving more enthusiastically. One point of note is the fact taller drivers may find it trickier getting into and outside of 5-door versions because seats likely to end up set significantly rearward compared together with the door pillar. Most 1 Series buyers go for your M Sport trim, which implies an appreciably firmer ride. There are 2 solutions to negate this. Opt to the moderately expensive but excellent adaptive M Sport suspension system, or, without cost, go for that standard springs. Road drawer, along with wind and tire noise, are acceptable, instead of overly intrusive, making the 1 Series an enjoyable place for being. 5 trims levels throughout the 1 Series range. Generous kit counts on all of them. Beware expensive options. Standard degrees of kit for that 1 Series are pleasing, with all the range easily obtainable in 5 familiar grades, say, Sport, M Sport, M Sport Shadow Edition, and also the standalone M140i. Standard BMW 1 Series sports hatch equipment. As standard, the 1 Series incorporates sedan, of which has a 6.5-inch multimedia display and iDrive controller, DAB radio, remote control central locking, keyless ignition, climate control, multifunction leather tire, automatic lights and wipers, 16-inch alloy wheels, front fog lights. Move approximately sport trim and you also get 17-inch alloy wheels, ambient lighting, black high-gloss interior trim, sports front seats, body kit. The popular M Sport models come as standard with 18-inch M Sport alloy wheels, aluminum hexagon interior trim, Alcantara upholstery, M-specific body kit. New for 2017 may be the M Sport Shadow Edition, which adds darkened headlamps and taillight unis, a black grille and alloy wheels, cruise control, rear parking sensors. Topping the range would be the standalone M140i that builds upon M Sport with dual-zone climate control, Dakota leather upholstery, specific 18-inch alloys with high-grip tires, ferret gray exterior detailing, specific M140i suspension and steering settings. BMW 1 Series sports hatch optional extras. Buyers can pick at a range of exterior colors, including conventional metallic and non-metallic finishes, while a wide range of alloy wheels are around for further customize your car or truck. Inside, as you'd expect, there are numerous of seat and trim choices available. If you're trying to further enhance the BMW 1 Series equipment, a multitude of option packages can be obtained. BMW's Driver's Comfort Pack adds accessories like cruise control and rear parking sensors, making your vehicle easier to deal with. Also on offer is usually a visibility package, which adds adaptive LED headlights alongside other minor upgrades. The variety of driver assistance systems available for that new BMW 1 Series has a rear-view camera, high beam assistant as well as the driving assistant. The latter comprises the camera-based lane departure warning and collision warning systems as well as being the attention assistant feature. Other options include electrically adjustable and heated front seats, two-zone automatic aircon, a heated tire, a 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split rear seat backrest along with the Harman Kardon loudspeaker upgrade including a 360-watt digital amplifier. 5-star Euro NCAP rating in 2012. Generous numbers of safety kits as standard. Even wider array of optional features, though. Like many premium manufacturers, BMW boasts an enviable safety record, as evidenced because of the 1 Series Sports hatch's 5-star rating when that it was crash-tested by Euro NCAP back 2012. Not only will it be particularly strong, it's set with safe attire-related kit including stability software, dynamic traction control with brake control allowing individual wheels to become slow to increase traction in addition to safety, automatic lights and wipers, LED rear lights and fog lamps. M Sport and M140i models also boast standard LED headlights. BMW 1 Series Sports hatch optional safety equipment. You can't be too safe, naturally, so there's a wide choice of extra cost options and bundles to take into consideration, including adaptive cruise control, a self-parking system, adaptive LED headlights that turn the beam pattern using your steering input as well as a driving assistant pack. This includes an attentiveness assistant, low-speed autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning and preventative pedestrian protection. Roomy in the beginning, but cramped in the spine. Small boot, in spite of seats folded. Lots of stowage space inside the cabin. Practicality has not been a strong point in the first-generation 1 Series Sports hatch, but this version on the BMW is usually a little better. In the trunk it's still very tight and even though there are 5 seatbelts, you'll find it hard to fit that numerous adults in comfortably, even 4 might struggle. Plus, as with every car of these configuration, access to a corner seats with the 3-door is really a hassle if you will choose not to have. There are lots of cubby holes dotted across the front and the cabin to hold spare change along with other bits and pieces constantly in place but none from the easy access ones are specifically deep. Time to hide your cabin detritus away. It's a small 3- and 5-door selection of hatchbacks, even though long bonnet giving a new impression through the driver's seat, so you'll have little bother slotting it right into a conventionally sized garage or perhaps a parking space within an archetypal multi-story. Although backseat passenger space is compromised through the BMW's rear-wheel drive arrangement, the boot capacity hasn't been impinged on the same degree. With all seats set up there's 360 liters of volume from the boot, about 20 liters shy of the items a Golf can muster. Tumble the 60 hours 40 minutes split rear seats over, a handy 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split is elective, which increases to a more useful 1,200 liters. Although it's unlikely you'll wish to use your BMW as being a makeshift small van.